Hey, hi, my name is Octavio Ramirez, and I was just thinking about what I'm going to do after my classes today. Today, what I want to do after school is, drink some coffee, have a slice of chocolate cake, and watch my favorite TV show. These are my plans for today. So, before I go to bed tonight, I want to do these 3 things. In other words, before the end of the day, I will have watched my favorite TV show, I will have drunk a cup of coffee, and I will have eaten a slice of cake. These are plans now, but by the end of the day, these will be completed actions. Do you ever make plans? Do you complete these actions? When do you make plans? Do you make plans every day? Do you make plans when you go to a different place? For example, when you travel, when you go to another country. Hey, she's Luisa, and she's making plans to go to Paris. She wants to travel to Paris next summer. Luisa wants to do 3 things. She wants to ride a train, a fast train. It's called the TGV, and it's in France. So Luisa wants to ride that train. Luisa also wants to eat at a traditional French restaurant. She wants to taste real French food. And of course, Luisa wants to climb the Eiffel Tower, the most famous French monument. That's it. So these are Luisa's plans. When the summer ends, these plans will be completed. Like this. By the end of summer, Luisa will have climbed the Eiffel Tower. Check. Completed. By the end of summer, she will have eaten at a French restaurant. Completed also. And finally, she will have ridden the TGV. Great, Luisa. I hope you can complete these actions before summer ends. When we talk like this, when we use this type of vocabulary, this type of expressions, we are using a form called future perfect. Okay? And when we speak like this, for example, Luisa will have climbed the Eiffel Tower, she will have eaten the French restaurant, she will have ridden the TGV. Listen how the stress, the volume is more in the words Luisa and climbed. Why? Because these 2 words are very important. Luisa is doing an activity. What activity? Climbed. So when you speak, remember to pay more attention to these 2 words. The person doing the action and the action. I will repeat. Luisa will have climbed the Eiffel Tower. Luisa will have climbed the Eiffel Tower. She will have eaten at a French restaurant. She will have eaten at a French restaurant. She will have ridden the TGV. Did you notice the intonation? Okay, one more time. Luisa will have climbed the Eiffel Tower. She will have eaten at a French restaurant. She will have ridden the TGV. Excellent. So this form, it's called future perfect. We use the future perfect when we make plans, and these plans are completed before a future time, like before summer, before the day ends. So now they are plans, but they will be completed in the future. Great. Let me show you how this works. We have these two examples from before, my plans and Luisa's plans. My plans, before the day ends, I will have watched my favorite TV show. Okay, so to make this sentence, this structure, we need a future time before the day ends. Okay, a future time before tomorrow, before next week, before Sunday. Okay, a future time. After, we need the person doing the action. We need a subject. Here I am the subject, so I is the subject. Then we need two words. These two special words for future perfect are together, will, have. Okay, we need these two words always with future perfect, will, have. We call them auxiliaries. We need these words to complete the structure. Okay, after, we need the action. The action is a verb. This verb is in the form of past participle. Past participle is a special type of conjugation, but don't worry, it sounds difficult, but you will learn many verbs in past participle very quickly. I recommend you to check your English books. Usually, in the final part of your English books, you have a list with many verbs. Check the part of the list that says past participle, and you will see the different forms of these verbs. Past participle. Okay, finally, we have a complement. Complement is the part that can change. For example, before the day ends, I will have watched my favorite TV show, or probably I will have watched the news, or probably a soap opera, a cartoon. So you can change it. When you make your plans, you can make your plans to watch a cartoon. So before the day ends, I will have watched a cartoon. Great. Our next example is very similar. It's Luisa's example, and it has the same ingredients as the previous example. First, we have a future time. Excellent. What is the next part? What is the next element? Subject. Perfect. Then we need an auxiliary. What two words are part of the auxiliary? Can you tell me? The two words that are part of the auxiliary are will, have. Great. Then we have the verb in past participle. Past participle, remember, is another form of the verb. For example, the verb eat is in present, in past, ate, and in past participle, eaten. So eat, ate, eaten. We need the final one, eaten, to complete future perfect. And finally, a complement. In this case, a French restaurant. Great. So when I ask you, what will you have done by the end of the day? What I'm asking you is first, what are your plans? Okay, what plans you have in this moment? And what do you imagine you will finish by the end of the day? Okay, so tell me, what plans do you have right now? Do you think you want to go to a fast food restaurant, probably? Or you have homework to do and you have to work? Or you will play a video game with your sister, your brother, or with a friend? Or Maybe you plan to see your best friend. What do you think? What will you have done by the end of the day? What are your plans? And what plans will be completed? Let me show you an example of a possible answer. For example, before today ends, I'll have finished my homework. Before today ends, I'll have called my friends and will have played video games online. Check how the auxiliary will have is reduced here. It's not complete. So it's an apostrophe and the double L. So the pronunciation is I'll. The same happens with I'll have called my friends. I'll. You can say I will have called or I'll. Probably is faster and easier for you to say I'll. You see, it's easy. I'll have called. I'll have finished. Excellent. So do you think you'll have finished your homework before today ends? Or you'll have called your friends and played video games online? What do you prefer? Yeah, I know that you prefer to play video games. But yeah, we have to do homework sometimes as well. You can ask your friends about their plans. How? I will show you how to make questions. Okay, we ask questions when we want information, right? So questions in future perfect. We want information about the plans they have and if they imagine they will complete these plans. For example, what will you have eaten before tonight? Before tonight means previous, before the day becomes night. That is the expression before tonight. What will you have eaten before tonight? To make questions in future perfect, we need a question word. So QW is question word. We need the auxiliary will. Auxiliaries are words we need to complete this structure. So this is an auxiliary will. And will because it's about the future. We need a subject. Do you remember subjects? We use subjects when we want to talk about the person doing the action. So the subject makes an activity or like does the action. Another auxiliary have and the action eaten in past participle. Great. Finally, the future time we are thinking about. Question word, what? Another example of question word is who. Who is another question word? There are many question words. Who, we ask this question who when we want information about a person. Who will you have visited before Sunday? Who will you have visited before Sunday? We need to give extra pronunciation to the question word who, to the subject you, and to the past participle visited. Who will you have visited before Sunday? Who will you have visited before Sunday? These three words, who you visited, have more pronunciation. Who will you have visited before Sunday? Excellent. Now we can answer questions sometimes in an affirmative or negative form, depends on the question. For example, do you like chocolate? You can respond with affirmative or negative. Answer, yes, I do, I like chocolate, or no, I don't. Here I will show you how to respond in a negative way in future perfect. For example, no, I won't have finished my homework by tomorrow. I won't have finished my homework by tomorrow. This is possibly an answer or probably is a plan. Probably your plan is not to finish your homework. Okay, so this it's called negatives. For a negative, I need a subject. I need an auxiliary, won't have. Won't is the reduction of two words, will and not. Won't. Won't is the reduction of will not. Okay, so won't have. After we need the verb in past participle to complete the structure of future perfect, and then we need a complement and a future time. Remember, we always need a future time to talk about the future time with future perfect. Okay, so this is an example of a negative sentence. I won't have finished my homework by tomorrow. And we need a stress in the subject and the verb in past participle. The stress is the more pronunciation, more volume. I won't have finished my homework by tomorrow. I won't have finished my homework by tomorrow. Yes? I will show you another example. I won't have seen my friends before the weekend. I won't have seen my friends before the weekend. Notice the pronunciation. I and seen have more pronunciation, more volume. I won't have seen my friends before the weekend. The subject probably is another person, maybe my brother. My brother won't have seen my friends before the weekend. Or my father or my mother. The subject can be a different person. In this example is I. Excellent. So this is the form of negative in future perfect. Let's check the combination of question and two possible answers, affirmative and negative. Look at this question. What will you have eaten before you go to bed? What will you have eaten before you go to bed? Affirmative. I'll have eaten some candy. Great. Negative. I won't have eaten any vegetables. You have to eat vegetables, okay? This is just an example. I won't have eaten any vegetables. We have affirmative answer and negative answer. Excellent. Do you think you are ready for some practice, for some exercises? Are you ready? Let's check it out. Okay, so let's practice. By 10 p.m. tonight, okay, here we have 4 sentences. I want you to complete these sentences using future perfect. Okay, the first sentence is positive. You need to make a positive sentence. Positive means affirmative, okay? Number 2, you need to make a negative sentence. In number 3, negative sentence also. And finally, positive sentence in number 4. Pay attention to the verbs. In number 1, the verb, the important action is finish. Do you remember how to convert this word? Finish, that we need to consider 3 possibilities, present, past, and exactly that one, past participle. Okay, so we have these verbs, so probably we need to make some modification. So the verb in number 1 is finish, in number 2 is have, number 3 meet, and number 4 fall. Okay, I want you to pause the video now and think about your possible answers. We check in a moment, so please pause the video right now. Great, so this will be the answers. Do you have something similar? Positive, number 1. I will have finished this video game. I'll have finished this video game. Positive. Number 2, negative. I won't have had dinner. I won't have had dinner. Had is the past participle of have. Number 3, My brother won't have met his friends. My brother won't have met his friends. Met is the past participle of meet. Number 4. You'll have fallen asleep. You'll have fallen asleep. To fall asleep is an expression. This expression means that you start to sleep and that you are sleeping. That is, to fall asleep is the process to start sleeping. Excellent. In our next exercise, we need to make questions. You have the words you need, so don't worry, you don't need anything more. You don't need extra words. The words are here. What I want you to do is to organize these words, okay? So please organize these words to make questions in future perfect. I want you to pause the video and on a paper or probably on your computer, write these questions, the complete question, and we check in a moment. So please pause the video now. Okay, do you have the answers? Did you organize these words? Let's check it out. I hope you are correct. These are the answers. Number 1. What will you have eaten by 6 p.m.? Excellent. Number 2. Will we have watched the film by 7? Number 3. Will she have arrived by Friday? And number 4. What will you have done by the end of the day? Great. Tell me, what questions can you answer with yes? And what questions you cannot answer with yes? Question 1. What will you have eaten by 6 p.m.? We cannot answer this question with yes. We need information. In number 2, will we have watched the film by 7? Exactly, it's possible to answer with yes or with no. Number 3, will she have arrived by Friday? Exactly, we can answer this question with yes or with no. Finally, what will you have done by the end of the day? We cannot answer this question with yes or not. We need to give information. Do you imagine when you are 45? Can you imagine that moment? I have some questions here that I want you to answer. Read the questions, please. And when you are ready, pause the video and write your answers. Let me read the questions for you. The first question: what will you have done when you are 45? Will you have had children? How many? Will you have had many different jobs? Which ones? Will you have learned another language? Which one? What language? And finally, will you have moved to another city or country when you are 45? Where? Okay, so please pause the video now and write your answers. Great. Do you have some answers? It's difficult, right? It's very difficult to imagine the future and to imagine the things that are completed in the future. It's really difficult, but it's fun. I think it's fun. I will show you some examples, right? The examples are different from your examples, but it's fun anyways. Let's check them out. When I'm 45, he is Jose and he's thinking, okay? He's thinking, when I'm 45, I'll have had 2 children, a boy and a girl. So Jose wants to have a boy and a girl. He wants to have children. Those are Jose's plans. Next, when I'm 45, I'll have worked for 2 different airlines, Aeromexico and Interjet. So, what do you think Jose wants to to do? What will his job be? I think he wants to be a pilot. Or probably he wants to be a mechanic and he wants to fix airplanes. Finally, I have learned German, English, and Portuguese. Wow! So Jose has to study so much. His plans are to study German, English, and Portuguese. When Jose is 45, he'll have learned German, English, and Portuguese. So, that's all for today. Thank you very much. If you have any question, please write it down in the comments. And thank you so much for your attention.